I'd like you to experiment, especially here, but for the rest of your life. And some of you can already do that, and others not yet. Are you able to just go anywhere, be anywhere, sit and say, okay, nothing to think about right now, and experience the spaciousness of no thought? The length doesn't really matter that much, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it's timeless anyway, it's a timeless state of consciousness. So can you choose not to think? My greatest achievement, can you replicate it? This is the challenge. And sitting here helps. It does help if you're... and it's a miraculous thing. You can look around and say, okay. Now, you may find strange things happening to you. There's a moment of no thought, and then the mind says, oh, that's no thought. That's fine, that can happen, and then that drops away, and then you're back in no thought. And then practice walking from here to your room with nothing to think about, just sense perception and that aware presence, the beingness of you in the background of your sense perceptions. Sense perception arises in the space of consciousness. You are the consciousness. There's nothing to think, just perceive, be. Wonderful. And then you can walk to the beach, just you become still and alert and present. No thought. And then if thought does come in, it no longer has this power to draw you in. Well, occasionally it will. It's a transitional period for many people between the old consciousness, which is totally mind-identified, and the new consciousness where mind can operate, but is no longer in control. The connectedness with being, the arising of awareness. So there's a transitional state which many of you are in. Sometimes you are completely in the state of awareness, and then things may happen, and you get drawn back into and then you go back into, step out of it again. And you can notice the qualitative difference in the energy that is there when you are absorbed in useless thinking and when you are awake in alert presence and sense the I am that is underneath it all. And so, back and forth, and gradually there's more, for longer periods, there's awareness, and then the freedom comes in where you can say there's nothing to think about now, just be. And thoughts that do arise in that state of awareness, they're not heavy. They come like clouds across the blue sky, float past and dissolve. And then another cloud may come, but there's more blue cloud than sky. So the heaven or sky is used in many spiritual traditions. In Chinese, ancient Chinese spiritual tradition, the talk of heaven. In Jesus' teaching, the talk of heaven. Because the cloudless sky externally is a bit like that spacious dimension within. And the clouds are the thoughts that can fill it completely when it gets totally overcast. There's not a single space of blue sky to be seen. And that is when you're totally in the grip of a mind stream. Not a tiny space, but if you only have a tiny space of blue sky, which means an occasional arising of thoughtlessness for 3 seconds. Now, there are many humans who've never heard a spiritual teaching in their lives, but nevertheless they have occasional spontaneous arisings of thoughtless awareness for a few seconds at a time, but they don't even know it. They just experience it as a joyful moment. And if you ask them, was that a moment when you were not thinking, they say, what are you talking about? They don't know that. Even I didn't know that after the awakening, I could feel this wonderful peace and presence. But only 2 years later, when I talked to a Zen monk who said, the essence of Zen is you don't think. Oh, that's what happened to me. I suddenly realized that I wasn't thinking that much anymore. And that was part. But I didn't experience it as not thinking, I experienced it as peace. So, any human who is not totally miserable all the time and desperate and suicidal, any human who is still relatively okay, they must have short moments of spacious awareness without even knowing it and without having heard any spiritual teaching. They still think life is worth living, and so they're still short. But now this can become a much more all-pervasive in your life, so that your life is not reduced to short moments that keep you going for another 20 years. And then long moments of drudge, misery, and then again.